Hi everybody, this is Christy. I am the Intimate Warrior. I thank you so much for stopping by, and as always, I send you love. Tomorrow begins Pluto Retrograde. And I was actually thinking, well, what is the difference between Mercury and Pluto Retrograde? But I talk about Mercury a lot, so of course, I didn't really put two and two together as I was making that, thinking that question this morning. Mercury rules communication, where Pluto rules our psychological matters in relationship to our subconscious mind. Pluto is about changes, and Mercury is more about thinking. Yet, of course, we all know that when we need to make a change, we have to think about it. So, it is all linked together. Because Mercury rules over thinking and communication, things like timing or scheduling, writing, and speaking fall under its jurisdiction. Therefore, this is why people get into miscommunications, and timing becomes off when we are in Mercury retrograde. Pluto rules over more intense matters and rules over the realm of transformation and rebirth. Pluto is a general planet that greatly affects the collective. But on a personal level, it rules how we channel our inner power, as well as what lays beneath the surface of our subconscious mind. Pluto works with power and control. Who are you losing power to? Who has control over you? Who are you attempting to control? What are you trying to gain power over? These are type of questions that you are going to experience throughout this retrograde, Pluto retrograde. And mind you, Pluto retrograde is going to go on until October. It is a lengthy period of 5 months. Sometimes Pluto retrograde goes on to 6 months. And that's the difference, the main difference here in terms of Mercury retrograde that everybody always talks about. Oh, it's Mercury retrograde again. Mercury retrograde can sometimes only last between 3 weeks, but it comes up more often. Pluto comes once a year and stays forever. Now, this is when we have to really dig deep. Now, I thought 5 months. Okay, we all know that the number 5 means drastic changes. Or how about this? Great opportunities. We have a great opportunity to really dig deep here. Pluto is about our psyche, which means we can develop our intuition throughout this time frame. We can develop our psychic abilities. Now, when we're talking about retrogrades, oftentimes people are like, well, this is the time for me to my life is going to become an upheaval. This is really a time for us to slow things down. And it gives you a chance to reassess your life, to revision how you really want it to be, dig a little bit deeper, and really let go. Now, if you are someone who is often controlled by others. You lose your personal power. This is not about you making drastic changes because when we're talking about letting go doesn't necessarily mean I am going to refrain from seeing you any longer. I am going to change my job. I'm going to change relationships. Whatever it is, it doesn't necessarily mean that. Although, if that's your choice, that's what you can do. But keep in mind that any change that you make in your reality, if you make a change, your inner reality should match what you change. So if you are changing jobs, changing relationships, breaking up, finding new love, whatever it is, and you have not been healed on the inside, old patterns are going to resurface continuously. You will project your internal lacking within your reality. So when we are talking about in terms of really letting go of drastic change, of transformation, is an internal process that really should be taken first. Going within, really reflecting, why am I being controlled? Or why am I controlling others? Why am I losing power? Why am I being given too much power? And answer those questions. Where does it stem from? Why am I so insecure? Why do I feel lacking in this area? Why am I so demanding of others? Or why are others taking advantage of me? So Pluto, because it's such a longer period, this is a longer period of reflection that gives us the time to truly let go of aspects of the self, of our past, our pain, our limitations that we haven't found very beneficial, that have been way, way hidden deep, 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 deep in the subconscious mind. And purge those out so that when it is truly time, we can speed up our shift into a separate reality. We upgrade in our light body. Everything changes when you begin to let go. You activate new parts of yourself. In order to rebirth or birth life, things must die away. When we look at nature, things die, then things awaken. Things die, things awaken. And that's the process that we have to take as well. When we're talking about the death process, it means going in, digging deep, removing things that are not beneficial. Now, I want you to also keep in mind that the shadow period, although it begins, Pluto Retrograde actually begins tomorrow. There is a pre and then there is a post. So keep that in mind. You've already probably been feeling this shadow period for a couple of weeks. And that shaking up kind of energy, that destructive kind of energy, that If your reality has been reflecting types of control areas in your life, manipulation areas in your life, it's because of Pluto. And remember, Pluto, the ruling sign of Pluto is Scorpio. We just had, today's the full moon. So it's all linking together. We will be subjected to both types of energy here, negative and positive. In order to have the positive, we have to experience the negative, and vice versa. But this is a very feminine energy. When we're thinking in terms of being more feminine, of course, that is that part of that's more intuitive within us. It's more heartfelt. So this is the period of time of really being able to dig deep and use the heart to make your decisions. It's not digging deep and then using more logic, more masculine energy. That tends to get you into a bit of trouble, more aggravation, unnecessary actions. So the power of this planet is going to allow us to really free ourselves from lots of unnecessary ties that is preventing us from moving forward. I guess, is there something within your life that you really don't like? And then you're going to be able to answer that question, or you should want to answer that question. Honestly, I kind of vegged out yesterday. My growing pains, and I had a period last night as well of really stretching, of growing again. And it wasn't as bad as the previous night, but because of the previous night, that intense discomfort that I was experiencing, I kind of did nothing yesterday. I wanted to do things, but my actions just said, hey, let's just kind of chill today. And when I say I did nothing, I mean I didn't do any physical activity. I didn't exercise like I really wanted to, but then I really didn't want to. I didn't hang around other people too much. I stayed with myself yesterday. I vegged out with myself. And this morning, I'm a little aggravated this morning. I'm dealing with some aggravation. And I know it's a reflection of full moon in Scorpio, but also Pluto Retrograde. There's an aspect of that tug and pull that is going on within me, where I am definitely feeling a sense of lack of control in my life. Not, internally there's an imbalance of control. And it's not so much my reality, okay? But it is my reality, because if I am feeling out of balance within, or not feeling powerful, not to the point of overpowering others, then of course my reality is going to reflect that. So being aggravated this morning, I could have handled a situation much better, but I am quite aware of it, and I am looking within myself today. Now keep in mind that because this retrograde period is so long, your transformation, your expectation of this period or your growth period may cause a little bit of anxiety because you don't feel it's going anywhere. And you may be going back and reflecting at the same things over and over again. This is a great time for us to really slow things down. Because I told you, I have been feeling since the beginning of the year, December, things have been really progressing at a faster pace. It's as if there was no time to kind of reflect or even enjoy things, because it was just here, 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 on top of each other. Now, for myself, since the beginning of April, like April the 9th, I'm going to go ahead and just use that date because it's in my awareness, as I'm aware that today marks a change. I have been feeling slow progress. I've mentioned that in my videos. I'm a little confused. I don't know why things are so slow. I don't have very much to go on. I'm not anxious. I'm not doubting. It's just really weird because I'm not used to this slowing down period because we've had things taking place so quickly in the past. So, try to really be more aware of if you're feeling anxious, if you're getting more worried, more frustrated, agitated, and therefore, of course, judging others or judging yourself and judging the situation, because really your emotions that are coming out are at a reflection of this slow-paced energy, for one, and then quite possibly your resistance to this change that is going to happen, regardless of your own readiness. So spend your time doing things that are more productive, more positive, when you get into that type of funk. This period is all about gaining your personal power, personal strength, personal and control over your life. Again, this is not about, and this means in the life that you currently have, okay? You don't have to change your environment to have change. You don't have to change your job to have change. You don't have to change relationships to have change. You don't have to change your hairstyle or your outfit to have change. True change is a reflection that takes place on the inside. The true difference that you can make in your reality and in the realities of other people who are close to you is the change that you make on the inside. If you are losing control in your life, you have to go in, you have to listen to what that inner voice is saying, expressing to you. Heal those wounds. If you are someone who is trying to continuously manipulate others, control areas of other people's lives, you have to slow down. Ask yourself, why are you that type of individual? And learn to let go of that idea that you have to be in control of other people. There's a reason behind it. So, and I'm just looking over my notes, so bear with me here. Pluto being that it is the ruler of the underworld. It is also, of course, because things have a death period. Keep in mind that through your death period, there can be a rebirth, a major rebirth. That's why Pluto really can help us transition into our highest self, the greatest. Now, there are all forms of death that we can experience, whether it's from illnesses, whether it's from breakups, whether it is from children who leave home, our own internal transformation. All of these things are types of the death period that we can experience, and all of them can hurt just as bad, especially if we are not dealing with those emotions. If you are feeling alone and very isolated, that is a form of death. Now, if you have the strength to really go within, and this is what the energy of Pluto is going to kind of force you to do, and not just forcing you, it's forcing most of the collective to do, to really purify ourselves and to awaken, just like that phoenix. And I mentioned it in yesterday's video, I believe, that forces itself on fire and then consumes itself, and then after 3 days rises from the ashes. Pluto retrograde is like the phoenix, except it's not going to be 3 days. And it extends even longer than 5 months. But don't see it as, oh my gosh, it's going to take so long. I hope that you're really seeing it as, wow, I am given some time to really dig deep and to really release. I really don't know for myself. What more do I have that's lingering? Yet this morning, I've already had an incident that proved to me it's still deep. This control aspect, or losing control aspect of my life, is still very persistent, and I don't want it in my life any longer. And although I keep thinking, oh yeah, I've defeated it. No, remember, our wounds, the things that we have been really taught were true, run deep within us. It goes into our DNA and completely changes us, whether for good or bad. So when we are really facing ourselves, when you become aware, I was very aware this morning that I did not like this. I didn't like my attitude this morning. And now I'm thinking about it. I'm aware of the situation. I am aware of me and how I act, and what I am putting out into this reality. I can change that. We can't change how anybody else is being, what anyone else is doing. The only true change that can take place is a change from within. That is going to make the biggest difference within our lives. If you have a fear of death, Pluto retrograde is going to make you kind of face it. I never realized that when I was afraid of drowning, or when I was afraid of getting in the water, and of course being afraid of drowning, that it really was me fearing death. Although it makes complete sense, and I'm like, of course. Although really I'm like, okay, but no, I'm not afraid of death because I know we're all going to die. But if you're not doing something because of you're afraid of a cause, there's that fear of something else that is preventing you. So I would never really get into water that was above my shin unless I had some sort of protective, wearing a life preserver. And even still then, I became claustrophobic and my asthma would start acting up. I couldn't breathe and everything still, went to heck, if you will. I didn't, so I was still aware. I was afraid, no matter how protected I was, and excuse me for saying what, went to heck. But as I conquered my fear, as I conquered and went into the water at the beach last summer, that realization of that I was really afraid of dying hit hard. Which meant that I really didn't understand the concept of we're here temporarily. We're here to have a human experience and then to go back home. Our spirit is eternal. Our spirit has no harm. Our spirit is pure love. Our human experience is a limitation. But when you conquer all of those internal fears, you're living within the spirit form of you, the higher aspect of you, where true freedom really is. So, I thought I'd add my little personal experience there of fear of death. Knowing that I got over that, my fear of drowning, I told myself there was going to be nothing else in my life that was going to hold me back. Because I was able to conquer that fear. You can't tell me. I'm not going to do anything. And then, of course, you're not going to control me either. So, yeah, it's really digging deep here. Being that Pluto is in Capricorn and actually has been in Capricorn since 2008 and will remain there until 2024. This is and Pluto being in retrograde, it is still going to be the energy of great determination, great focus, and that show up type of mentality. It's going to be that, I believe, although the energy may feel a little slow, as if you're taking too many steps back, this energy is also going to be about nothing is going to stop me. I'm going to show up and I'm going to prove this to myself type of energy. And so I hope this gives you that type of encouragement anyway. We can't fear change. We can't be afraid to really face who we truly are. We can't fear our dark side. Didn't I mention that in yesterday's video? We can't fear things about ourselves that really are saying, this is why this is happening in your life. Everything, of course, in our past has already happened. And it's time to let it go. What we have done in the past, who we have been in the past, is there in the past. So we should want to let that part of us go. But it means that we have to really face it. It means we have to say, I don't like that about myself. And then we have to be the ones to change it. No one else can do it for us, and no one else can give us the things that we want. Change is never handed. It's discovered by facing who you really are, or by facing who you aren't, to see who you really are in your life. Oh gosh. I see this as a time for when we can experience great change, great transformation. We are given great wisdom and great knowledge. And that is what gives us our greater future. This is Christy. Much love, health, and healing our way. I am bringing purpose to your life. Take care.